Here, memories. I went through the same thing knowing I was going to be able to talk a little bit this week. I was down in Orlando and I was at Walt Disney. And it was for work, believe it or not. And one of the things I was doing down there was going through the Disney Institute, which is basically their way of showing you how they run Disney, their culture, how they treat their guests, their employees. So it was business oriented, but the whole time I kept thinking, okay, how can I transfer this to my story about our team and again, all the memories walking through the Wide World Sports Complex where that season started. And there were a couple things that popped up. One thing that's really unique about Disney is in their culture or their way of doing things, they call their individuals that work there cast members. Whether you're the CEO or a custodian, you're a cast member, and then we have the guest, the customer, right? And I really thought in the culture of our program, we were very much the same way. We were almost on a first name basis. We had Butch, we had Pooh Bear, we had TK, it didn't matter if you're the head coach or a student assistant. We had Rusty, Ross, whatever. I don't know if you remember that story. But for about 6 weeks, Miles called Ross Webskowski Rusty. So eventually we got it right. But as a whole, we really did. We were on very much no one's role was more important type team. Second item that kind of stood out in my time at Disney is they really did talk about the overall collaboration, the communication, the teamwork. We asked our team, especially that team, because it was very deep, and we had individuals that very easily could be starting that were asked to come off the bench, things like that. So we always talked about balancing competition and cooperation. The competition of I want to start, I want more minutes, but at the same time, the cooperation. And they embraced that, and I thank you for that because that's a big part of why we were successful. Another common theme we've heard today, truly about good programs, good teams, individual success, is the people. And as we acknowledged Butch truly was a big part of this program and this success of this team. Admissions was huge to us all across the board. I remember when Tim was at Mayville and I was getting to know him, I said, because when he took the Mayville job, I thought, what are you doing? And Brad, you were a part of that. But I asked him one time, I said, what got it done there? And he's like, the people. I had so much support, encouragement to get it done, and people were giving us the resources to be successful. And we truly had that here. We had a lot of support internally that maybe the guys didn't even see. And so those are kind of the three takeaways I had from my business meetings at Disney that really kind of correlate to what we were doing and why we're here. As a note, this team, this individual group, this collaboration, they really set the bar, I think, for us as we continued our career. For Greg Steeman, when he took over, making the Elite Eight was unique. But just even internally as a team, I know when we did our recruiting and structuring, we would always look at that team. Even I know he does at Colorado State, looks at that team and says, I used to recruit and I'd say, hey, I got a guy, and he's kind of like Scott Coonan. And he'd be like, oh, okay. He'd perk up and have an interest in that individual as a recruit. Or we would say, hey, let's utilize this like we used Josh Prusi, at the high post, picking and doing some things up there. We always reverted back to this team. And I just think that hopefully you know how special you were to us and how you really did set the bar. And we talked about you guys all the time. Not the brightest group, a lot of passion. I remember the one time, I won't name names, but the guy comes in, hey, Coach K, what time's the 3 o'clock practice? Seriously? All right, you got a good heart. Blanchard tells the story about one of the guys coming up. Again, not naming names, comes up with this book. He had a slip, I think, to add a class. And, hey, is Butch here? I need to talk to him. And Blanchard's like, is this about school? Or academics. He says, is this about academics? And the kid goes, no, school. So again, great passion. These guys wanted to win, overcame a lot of obstacles. The hiccup against Winona, the 2-4 start. I always joke, I wasn't at that tournament at Stout where you guys lost. And there was another hiccup along the way. And I remember saying, God, you need to start keeping me around because I was on the road recruiting. And, of course, then we won 17 in a row. So I had to remind him of that. But it was a good group. And the journey wasn't easy in some ways, even though it seems like it, having all those wins. It wasn't. And as much as I look back on athletics, now that I'm removed from it, I hope one thing you guys take away, not just success and winning and stuff, and we heard it before earlier, is that hopefully we taught you some life lessons. I truly thought that was a big part of our role as coaches, whether it be how you're going to interact with your family, professionally. I hope that you took some of your experiences. I know I do, even myself. I look back as my time as in athletics, how to overcome obstacles, move on, and in some ways handle success at times too. And hopefully today we can catch up on some of those stories and see where we're at. It's great to see all of you. Enjoy this day. It is your day. It's great having your family here. Be proud of it. Stand a little tall, and just enjoy each other's company. Thank you.